Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this first live event of 2025, where AI meets human expertise, negotiating better and more efficient outcomes. I have the pleasure to have with me my colleague and friend Yadvinder Rana. I will ask him to introduce himself in a moment, but of course, first of all, let me think about you, the audience, the people that are joining us live, and the people that will be watching the recording of this event as we are going to go live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Facebook. So, maybe you may watch this event later on in one of those platforms. We have already seen in the chat the first people starting to tell us from where you're connecting from. So, how about getting an idea about where the audience is today? So, hello, Regina, connecting from Switzerland, and where are the other people coming from? Let's get to see. I think we're expecting people from different places. So I'm pretty sure. Hello, there is Nicolas connecting from France. Hello, bonjour, Nicolas. Happy to reconnect with you. Then we have Matteo from Lausanne. Actually, Nicolas is in Lausanne. Okay, great. And then let's get to see who else is with us. Okay, yeah. We have Andrea from Italy, and Sergio from Italy, and Johan from Malaysia. Hello, Johan. Good to see you again. Thank you for being with us. And okay, so let's, of course, give a second to the people that are connecting. But in the meantime, how about getting to know a bit more our speaker? So, Yadvinder, how about saying a few words about yourself?
Giuseppe, thanks for having me. I am a negotiation professor, and we are friends now because we have been working together for so long. And my research today is really focused on complex negotiation and how large language models can help us in negotiating better outcomes, for sure. So I had more than 10 years, 15 years of corporate experience around the world and negotiating in international environments. So this is why we're here. Okay.
Fantastic. And by the way, we share the background with Yadvinder because I've also worked in a corporate environment for 25 years, most of my career in procurement and in 5 different countries, and became a negotiation professor as well in 2018. So, fantastic. Happy to get started with this topic, but we have a large audience and we should not assume that everybody already has a in-depth understanding of the topic. So let's start with the basics, if you agree, Yadvinder. I mean, could you explain what a large language model is and how it functions in a way that a non-technical audience can easily understand?
You could say that large language models are AI systems that are trained on a very extensive data set. And what they do is they learn how to understand and generate human-like tasks. It looks like they are thinking, but they are just generating this text through their data set and creating statistical relationships among words. And the vast amount of training is the key. The more training data they get, the better they become in creating this statistical relationship among words. The big problem with large language models today is that they are kind of a black box, if you think of them. You give them a prompt and then you get a response, but you don't know what happens inside. And even artificial intelligence experts don't know exactly how they work because they are something like a brain-like massive amount of neurons. These neurons are mathematical processors that learn how to create and generate, understand and generate words. So it's not easy to understand how they work exactly.
So, even artificial intelligence experts don't know how they work, right? So okay, now you mentioned that large language models are not traditional software, right? So what does it mean on how we interact with and utilize this technology?
if you have a software, usually you also have a set of instructions. You know how to deal with the software, and the softwares are predictable. Think of of Excel, of Word. You know the output that will come. While large language models are highly unpredictable, they don't come with a set of instructions. And how you deal with them is through conversations. You have to use prompts. You have to conversate with them, and also. Uh, we use usually softwares to get information, to retrieve information, but large language models are not very good in that. They are, because they are unpredictable, they're very good in creativity works, in reasoning, in helping us to be more creative, to brainstorm. But for fact retrieval and knowledge, they are not very, very accurate. So this is the big difference between large language models and a traditional software.
In fact, I was reading a study that mentioned that there was a 41% increase in creativity by using large language models. So, indeed, that's confirmed. Oh, by the way, one thing that I want to say to the audience, this is your LinkedIn Live, right? So we are here to answer your question. Of course, I have my plenty of curiosity and I want to interact with Yadvinder, but, we are here to listen to you. So now that we did, this introduction, let's maybe move more into the more negotiation specific kind of area, and then we'll start taking maybe some of the questions from the audience. So, for instance, in what way are large language models changing how we prepare for and conduct negotiation, and what immediate benefits are negotiators seeing?
The immediate benefits are a lot. Let me just say a very, very important statistics. According to my research, only about 16% of negotiators use large language models daily. And even less, around 3 to 4% use it more than once a day. And these are very low numbers given the power of large language models, if you think of it. Now, how can we use large language models in negotiation? I think there are at least 5, maybe 6 ways. The first one is in the preparation phase. Two very important blind spots we have as negotiators usually going to the negotiation table are understanding the other party's interests, understanding their potential alternatives, and also creating options to create value, to make the negotiation more integrative. I think in these two aspects, large language models are incredible. They are incredible because you can brainstorm with them which can be the real interest of the other party, which can be their alternatives, and how to create value at the table. Very, very important. Another way I use large language models is through role play. I role play with the large language model. I tell the large language model, look, you take the role of the seller, of the buyer, and I will be the other person. So, and we can simulate the negotiation as we do during negotiation trainings together. Another way is to ask the large language model to provide me with a list of objections or potential objections in the negotiation and the counter arguments for these objections. So in the preparation phase, I think large language models are fundamental and they can really enhance our knowledge. The second is during the negotiation. And because it can provide transcript live of what's happening in the negotiation, if you have a break, if you take a time out, it can act as a coach. Think of a boxing match where you have the coach that every round can help you to improve your boxing and the way you tackle the other party. And the last one is learning. At the end of the negotiation, you have the full transcript. You can know where you could have done better. So you can improve. It can be, again, your training coach for negotiation. And what is most important, the immediate benefits are incredible. I'm conducting a research. I employed 120 experienced negotiators, and what I saw is that if you have one of the parties that have access to a large language models while the other party doesn't, if they are a buyer, they will get 48% more value than the party that doesn't have access to the large language model. And if they are a seller, the number falls a little bit and it's 41%. So there is also a role difference, but you gain more than 40% compared to the party that doesn't have access to the large language model. It's incredible if you think of it. It's a huge number.
Wow, amazing. Now, I want you to know that we have already done an LinkedIn Live with Yadvinder last year, and in the CABL Conti Advanced Business Learning YouTube channel, you can find the previous event, and we talked already about preparation in our previous event. So I don't want to go in depth into the preparation phase, but let's try to give some more insight to people about those two elements. How do you use it during the negotiation? Let me go a bit deeper into this element, right? You can use it during a negotiation only if you're doing a virtual negotiation, or also face to face.
Use it also face to face because it can provide you with the full transcript. So if the negotiation has rounds, so you can have a timeout, you can ask, you can talk to your large language model and feed it with the transcript and say, look, what is happening? Where are we going? Compared to what we thought during the preparation phase, what can we do? Should we adapt the strategy? What changes? And it is very, very interesting. That's why I said it's like a boxing match where you have the coach. It's your live coach that can help you. I think in the near future, you could have your coach in your ear helping you during the negotiation for sure.
Okay, so, but are you saying that during the negotiation you let the artificial intelligence record what is happening?
You can do that just by the phone. Think of the voice mode with ChatGPT. You can do that very, very easily. And it can record, it can have a transcript. So it doesn't have to be only on Zoom or Teams. You could do it live. For sure, there are privacy issues. You should maybe for sure be transparent with that. This is very, very important because whenever we have artificial intelligence involved, we have to be very, very careful. But for sure, it can help. Yes, it can help. Or even without recording, you can still go back to the negotiation, to the screen and talk to your coach, as can be the large language model. So it is very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. In the same, when we talk about the learning can take place if you are not allowed the recording, right?
If you allow the recording, yes, for sure. But also, if you come back and you start giving a bit of a context and what happened, it can still be a good learning experience post-mortem, much more than what you can have without the large language model, without a coach, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Perfect. That's very nice. By the way, also very interesting the study about the 120 participants and the fact that you have seen, over 40% increase in value with people using this, which is consistent, by the way, which was a study that was made. We are now talking about 1 year ago, probably, which was comparing. The results of negotiator when the two parties were not using artificial intelligence, when one of the parties was using artificial intelligence, but interesting enough, when both parties were using artificial intelligence, then the results were even better because of the ability of both parties to, be more creative and deliver more value in the way we do things. So
this is a great point, Giuseppe. According to my research, the joint gains increased by 84%, 84. And this is massive compared to a negotiation without the support of LLM. So if both negotiators are using large language models, it's incredible the joint gains, how they increase. It's a huge number.
Yeah, perfect. Fantastic. Now, let's why don't we start with the first question from the audience? Hello, Ilya. Ilya, amazing negotiator, by the way. He broke the record on one of my role plays at the St. Gallen University. So let's see what Ilya has to say. Are there tools out there that allow training an instance of larger model on own dataset in an easy way. Ideally by sharing a dataset, a G folder with documents in the first step, and then fine-tuning with prompting.
If you're saying that you have some documents that you want to share to the large language model and ask the large language model to analyze it, yes, for sure. Think of Claude projects, for example. Think of the custom GPTs in ChatGPT. Think also the Canva now that is. So it's very easy. Usually when I prepare a negotiation, I provide a list of documents that become something like a background knowledge for the large language model to provide me the best responses. So yes, do it. Again, be very careful. It's not part of this this webinar because it's a very important issue. But be careful with terms of privacy, confidentiality, especially if they are company documents. In AI, we have a framework called RESPECT. It is an acronym that helps you, that provides you like a guideline to how to use large language models with company or private information. So this is very, very important. So be careful, but at the same time, they are powerful tools because they can aggregate all the information and work on that. It becomes their knowledge base, their RAG. So yes, you can do that, Ilya, for sure, for sure. Just do it. It's not only a possibility, it's very, very easy.
Yeah. Now, let me dig a bit further on this one, right? Because many people, rather than using ChatGPT, are using the Copilot version of their employer, right? Company are buying their own version. So this improves, of course, the element of privacy and confidentiality, but it also reduces performance, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yes. But I also think that if you look at the main large language models today, Giuseppe, we were talking about that just before the live, the differences in their performance are not so big. I think in the way we are using today large language models, the differences between Copilot, Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT are not massive. For sure, Copilot's performance are not aligned with the other three as of today. So for performance, yes. But there are many companies that today have the enterprise version of Claude or of ChatGPT or Gemini inside their workspace. So yes, you can have a protected environment where you can upload your documents for sure, not only with Copilot, but also with other three, for sure.
Okay, fantastic. By the way, here there is a question from Giovanni, another amazing negotiator. Across ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, what would you recommend and why for negotiation?
I am biased. When we did our first live on AI, Giuseppe, I told you I use Gemini and ChatGPT. Gemini because it was inside my Google workspace, and ChatGPT had a subscription. But today, I really like Claude. With Claude, the conversation looks easy. Don't take me wrong, but sometimes it feels like you are really talking to a human. So for most of my negotiation preparation, I use Claude. The second I use is ChatGPT. Today, Gemini is on the bench. I'm not using it too much. So Claude first and ChatGPT second, especially because ChatGPT has the O1 version that is great for reasoning. So if I have a really tough question, or almost a research level question, I go to ChatGPT O1. But for the daily tasks or negotiation, Claude, 100%.
Fantastic. By the way, allow me to stop for a second to tell you that we are launching a new program. And if you're interested in improving your negotiation and influence skills, then you have the opportunity to work with some of the best experts in the world in the field of negotiation and influencing. So, and it's a program that is virtual. So the people from Istanbul, from Malaysia, from Italy, from Switzerland, they can all join this program. So because it's a 12-month journey with a break during the summer. So we have a workshop every month between March of 2025 and February of 2026. And we have 6 leading experts, and Yadvinder is one of them. And then, we have a couple of persons from Harvard, from Oxford, from Yale, some great practitioners as well. And that will be your opportunity to strengthen your negotiation and influence skills. We have also 3 packages, silver, gold, and platinum, so that you have the choice on what kind of package you want. You can choose a la carte, let's say, the modules that are more relevant. Not only, we have also a package of 2 years to continue the learning journey with CABL. So which includes webinars, videos, articles, a private LinkedIn group, additional content. So if you are interested in Yadvinder, on the kind of things that he's doing, and then of course, he's going to give a much more extensive and practical workshops, where we're also going to do the practice, not only the theory, on this program. So check out the program, please, on the chat, and let us know what you think, because that's maybe a way to continue the learning journey. By the way, we are also offering other kind of workshop on artificial intelligence and negotiation with Yadvinder. So if you're interested to learn some more about what we can do for your sales team, or for your procurement team, or for whatever at your company level, then drop us an email or reply to this chat, whatever, and we'll be happy to give you more details. Fantastic. Now, end of the advertising break. Let's go back to the question to Yadvinder. Now, maybe this sounds a bit a more philosophical kind of question, but we know that fairness and transparency are crucial in negotiation. Now, could you elaborate on how artificial intelligence may help promote those values, and what potential challenges we should be aware of?
What I think is that if you look at the data from research, and I was mentioning you that if both the parties are using large language models, they achieve 84% more joint gains than negotiations without large language models. And remember, this this research is based on experienced negotiators. So experience is not part of the equation. Now, if you think of it, it is amazing. Another thing that research says is that the outcome is much more fair. The gain gap is minimal. According to my research, was 2.2%. Again, advantage of buyers, as we had previously with the 48 against 41. But the third element is incredible, is that value creation, joint gains occur with a decrease in information sharing. Now, when we teach negotiation, we always say, look, trust building, information sharing are the basis for creating value. But with the large language models, you create a setting where you can create value even in low trust context. Even if you don't want to share too much information, you want to open up. Why? Because brainstorming with the large language models, you explore parallelly the different options. So you are more prepared when you enter the negotiation, but it also gives you more procedural fairness because you know that the knowledge is higher. So what is interesting is that, yes, if both the parties have access to large language models, fairness and transparency increase during the negotiation. It's amazing. It is statistical. Which are the challenges? The challenges are what we said at the beginning, because if you don't use the large language model, the other party will achieve much more gains. So be careful with that, because if you know how to use large language models, you can really exploit them for individual gains. Yes, much more. So see, there are pros and cons in large language models, and there is a huge asymmetry between those using large language models and those don't using it in negotiation. I think we said that also in our previous webinar, but today research confirms that. And because large language models are becoming more and more powerful, the gains you get are increasing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So you don't need to ask questions. You don't need to gather information. Why? Because you can brainstorm with a large language model and enter the negotiation already with some options and some information. So it increases a lot of fairness. Yes.
Okay, well, let's dig a bit further, because of course, we are opening up new perspective for the people that are working with us. So, I mean, we have always, been encouraging our students or executive that attend our workshops to do the preparation, doing writing, preparing the question, and do the things, etc., etc. Now, what you're saying is, if you do the preparation with the help of a language model, then you will end up having a lot of this information up front, and you may need to rely less on question and on effective information sharing, right?
Completely correct. And what is interesting is that it increases the speed and efficiency of the negotiation, because a full phase of the negotiation process is, I'm not saying completely skipped, but it's reduced. So it is very, very interesting. And because we know that other party could have used large language models, we increase transparency. We are less reliant on being closed and not sharing information. So there is this power symmetry that comes into play that is very, very important with large language models.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you also mentioned that only 16% of negotiators use language models daily. Now,
Yes. In my research, with 120 experienced negotiators that were part of this experiment, only 16.6% of them used large language models daily, and only 5% of them used it more than once a day. And just to give you another number, yesterday I was in class at university teaching negotiation, and I asked my class with 75 students, they are between the age of 22 and 24, how many of you are using ChatGPT or whatever? And almost everybody raised their hand. And then I asked, how many of you are using it daily? And only 2 of them raised their hand, 2 out of 75. So just to give you, it's quite statistical, but they are not experienced negotiators, but they are students. They are the new generation. So I think there is a lot of hype on large language models on AI, but the people that are making the most of it are very, very few.
mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting. Now, with this in mind, let's try to answer some of the questions that we have from our audience. And which spend area are a good fit for EI versus e-auction?
Now, if you think about e-auctions and auctions in general, they have been around for a long time. You have artificial intelligence helping a lot of companies in commodities, yes, helping them to negotiate better in commodities. But if you take complex negotiations, where then AI, I'm saying more large language models are very helpful because help you to prepare better. But there are a lot of AI tools today that support negotiators in, especially in procurement, for example, in acquiring commodities, yes, because they streamline, automate completely the process. They have all the knowledge, so you don't need the negotiator anymore. It's very easy.
Okay. Now, let's listen to Matteo. Ciao, Matteo. What's the percentage time improvement using large language models in negotiations?
I don't have a number for that, Matteo. I'm sorry. In my research, it's one of the factors I didn't study. But for sure, during the negotiation process, more factors come to the play, more issues are explored than the negotiations without LLM. So I would say that increases the likelihood of having more issues at the table. That's for sure. But it also improves the preparation phase. Why? Because it streamlines the process. It becomes very quick. Once you have the prompt ready, you can just give them the context, give them documentation, and you can ask with the same prompt the same questions from negotiation to negotiation. So it becomes much, much easier and much, much faster. As you will know, one of the bigger challenges we face as negotiators is having the time to prepare properly for a negotiation. I think large language models can really help it. The percentage of time, I don't know. I could guess a number, but it will be just a guess. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Fantastic. Perfect. By the way, Matteo has a second question. I mean, we had already touched before, but maybe very briefly, is what's your view on Copilot? Now, we already mentioned that, is a bit less performant than the other three leading systems that just, for the benefits of the audience, ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. These are the three leading ones. What should we say about Copilot?
Copilot is a great tool if you are in a Microsoft Office environment. So it can help you to do everything better with the tools that Microsoft Office gives you. It can also be a good large language models. I still think that if you want to brainstorm, you want to be creative, you want to have something like a sparring partner, a companion, then the other three are better. Yes, for sure. But if you, for your daily activities, Copilot is great. It's great. Writing emails, writing Word, Excel, whatever. It's great. It can help you a lot. So it's a great tool. I think it's a bit different than the other large language models because it's a tool that can help you with the Microsoft Office apps.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's take a question from Regina. What is your thought about artificial intelligence can be a spy for negotiation by misusing the data to share competitors' data? In the world, it needs to be very mindful, selected, and figures need to be managed sensitive.
Gina, do you mean that we have to be very careful in when we share the information? And now, remember, large language models, especially the big ones, take privacy issues very seriously. Because for them, it would be a complete blow to have information that is not contained. It goes in the hands of others. And remember, all the information we share with large language models is encrypted at the end. Even if I'm a competitor and you share information with the large language model, it's almost impossible for me to understand what information you shared or not. But you still can, both in the free and paid versions, ask ChatGPT not to use your information for training, for example. And whenever you upload something, it's encrypted. So it's all, I would say, I don't know how many, what the impossible word means here, really, but it is impossible for others to get to the information. It will, but somebody can hack your PC, then it becomes different. If they enter your laptop, yes, but from outside, it's very, very hard. They have to enter the system in order to get information. They don't get the information from the large language models. It's very, very hard. I would say almost impossible.
Okay, fantastic. Let's take the last question from Mauro. Hi, Mauro. Ciao. What are the risks behind relying 100% on artificial intelligence during negotiations?
Now, what we see, this is very important, Mauro, is that AI, large language models, this is something we spoke about last time, really enhances the performance of novices, of young people, not experienced people, especially in negotiation. But the ones that can exploit better, that can make the most of large language models are the experienced ones. Why? Because they know what to ask. They know how to filter the information the large language model gives you. So I would say don't rely 100% on AI. Always put your judgment, your experience, your expertise. This is why I think negotiation expertise, as we know it, will never go away. It will be even more important in the age of AI because they have to go together. You have to learn to leverage the large language model to make the most of it, but you have also to know how to negotiate. You have to know the basics, the fundamentals of negotiation. Otherwise, you cannot make the most of large language models. So never rely 100%. As of today, Mauro, I don't know what's going to happen in the next few years. You know, the future is quite uncertain. Some people are saying that human level knowledge, machines with the human level knowledge and thinking are coming in the next 2 to 5 years. Others are saying no, because we have reached a plateau, because we don't have enough training data. So it's very hard to predict the future. But as of today, I don't rely 100% on large language model. I guide the large language model through conversations. And this is something we do during our classes that we do with Giuseppe. So how to guide the large language model in order to make the most of it.
Okay. Well, to conclude, maybe let me build on a couple of topics that you just talked. And my question, and I know is not an easy one, but how do you see the relationship between human negotiator and artificial intelligence evolving over the next few years? What skills should negotiators develop to strive in this new environment?
This is very, very hard. What I see is that negotiation skills become more and more important. Expertise in a domain in general, it's fundamental to make the most of large language models. So you have to know how to negotiate. On the other side, you have to also to know how to leverage the large language model. And most of us are not doing it. We have given statistics that very few people, 1 out of 8, 9 people use it daily. And usually we use it as a Google. We ask a question and then we are done. While large language model, to make the most of it, it's a conversation. You have to dig more and you have to use your expertise to gather as much information as you can, to gather as much knowledge as you can. So I would say that today is the time that you start using large language models because they give you a huge advantage, as you have seen. In the future, I think the more and more they become your daily companion. I think like having an assistant that knows a lot of things. So you enter the negotiation with somebody else next to you. So it's your companion, it's your best friend, it's your assistant, call it as you want. It becomes augmented intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. So if you ask me which skills you need in the future, one is negotiation skills. You need them. It's fundamental. The other one is large language model skills, how to prompt, how to have a conversation with large language models using your expertise, for sure.
Fantastic. By the way, you thought that this discussion with Yadvinder was interesting. Well, why not joining us for our new program, High Performance Negotiation and Influencing? Yadvinder is one of the speakers. We have speakers from some of the best schools in the world, some very sophisticated practitioners sharing with us, the latest in terms of negotiation and influencing. This is the CABL faculty that is there to help you, and you can have 10 different virtual programs, and you can choose a la carte, the one that you prefer. I'm sure you want to have the one with Yadvinder about artificial intelligence and negotiation, but there are plenty of other models that may be interesting, from conflict resolution and emotions, from, minimizing resistance when trying to influence people, to managing internal, external negotiation, etc., etc. And check out our program. and see whether maybe the next step to learn more about artificial intelligence will be through our program. As I mentioned before, we also offer workshops with Yadvinder, either in a 3-hour format or in a longer format for corporate customers. So do not hesitate to grab us an email and or make a comment into this chat. We'll reply the comments in this chat that have not been addressed during the live. Yadvinder, thank you very much for an amazing discussion once again today, for sharing your in-depth expertise, the result of your own experiment and research on this topic, and was a true pleasure to exchange with you. Look forward to reconnect with you soon for our other activities. And for the audience that is with us, either live or recording, then my warmest wishes for an amazing 2025, and look forward to reconnect with you in a few weeks for our next live event. All the very best. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.